The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Medford Fire Department, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 35015. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on orientation. Starting first at the front bumper face, dual air horns. Located directly in the center, your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving up to the outer edges of the front bumper area, you'll find your front stabilizers and warning information placards. Moving to the center grille, American flag, in the very center is where you'll find your mechanical siren. Moving out to the outer edges, you'll find a turn indicator and marker light. Just inside of that location is the headlight structure, housing low and high beam headlights. The high beam is located on the inside. Just up from the headlight structure is your forward-facing emergency warning lights. On the outer edge, you'll find your fire bell located on the passenger side. And directly behind the Pierce logo is where you'll find the release mechanism to gain access into the hood area. Moving up to the windshield, you'll find 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. Moving to the outer edge, you'll find mirror housing your flat and convex mirrors. Up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find 5 clearance lights. There are also 2 forward-facing floodlights. Moving up onto the roof of the apparatus is where you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Inside the light bar in the center is where you'll find your Opticom. And directly above the light bar is where you'll find your Go light, located just slightly behind the light bar, controlled from within inside the cab. Let's take a look at some close-ups of the items we just talked about. First, the front stabilizers. We do have some warning information here regarding danger and crush information. The location of your hood release is directly behind the Pierce logo. Let's move to the cab now, where you'll find at the very front section your Alcoa wheels and Michelin tires. Located in the center is a sight gauge. On the bumper extension, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. As we move up to the door, you'll find door handles easily accessible with a gloved hand and also keyed. Right next to them is the grab handle. Those are at points of entry for gaining access in and out of the cab. As we move just to the rear section of the grab handle, you'll find your keyless entry point. You'll also find a few items on the rear cab wall. We'll talk a little bit about those in the next set of images. At the very bottom, this is your air inlet and then also your shoreline inlet. As we move up to the very top section, you'll find your LED water tank level indicator, and then directly over the axle at the top of the notch is where you'll find your side-facing floodlight. Let's move inside the cab area on the driver's area, first pointing out the master battery switch. As we move to the door panel, you'll find all of our safety and warning information, door lock and latch, and also electric windows and a grab handle. You'll also find about the right ankle of the operator, the manufactured for your department, date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, VIN number, all of the fluid capacities and component fluid capacity and fluid types. As we move now back into the cab area, you'll find the master battery switch, the upper left knee, quarter turn. On the opposite side of the steering column, you'll find your differential lock. As we move down, you'll find diagnostic information. Let's go ahead and take a look at a close-up of that. First, we'll start at the very top section. This is for your maintenance team. This is your tech module, engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port, and also display port. You'll also find ABS diagnostics. As we move down, you'll find regen information regarding inhibit and also DPF regen switch. Let's move up to the steering wheel, where you'll find your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system. There is an airbag. On the outer edges, you'll find horn control, light control, and also windshield wiper and emergency lights. As we move to the dash on the left-hand side, you'll find your 4-way flasher, hazard lights, start and ignition switch, small switch labeled EM, that stands for Emergency Master. It engages and disengages all emergency lights. Headlight switch and also panel switch allows you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. On the opposite side of the column is where you'll find your OK to engage the high idle indicator and switch. Moving up to the dash, you'll find the transmission, oil, DEF level, and water temp. On the right, you'll find front and rear air, volts, and fuel. In the center is where you're going to find the tachometer and speedometer. Located in the center and above the tachometer is where you'll find diagnostic information. Let's move just to the right of the dash area, where you'll find your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. Also, general view of the console. We'll start now with the Pierce command zone. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. This is a touch screen. Please see the owner's manual for more detail regarding your Pierce command zone. On the right hand side is the Allison transmission pad. Push button digital readout with an informational note to pump in drive. Let's move just to the right of this location, where you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions here from road to pump, and then also from pump to road. Just as a reminder, before exiting the cab for pump operations, you need 2 green indicators, pump engaged, and OK to pump illuminating. Let's move down now to a few switches just underneath this area: driver's side scene, front flood, passenger side scene, and rear scene. Aerial master, aerial PTO, generator PTO, and also your basket lights. As we move to the right, you'll find your engine brake on and off, and also a setting switch for low, medium, and high. All the way to the right, you'll find exhaust temperature. As we move down, you'll find the retarder on-off switch, retarder auto apply, off-road traction, tire chains, backup alarm override, and master door locks. Beneath that, we have some warning caution information regarding disengaging the retarder, also maximum speed for your generator, and always engaging the parking brake. We also have tire chain information less than 25 miles an hour. Mirror controls for the left and right mirror. As we move forward to this location, you'll find your climate control for heat, defrost, front and rear, and also AC front and rear. As we look overhead of the operator position, on the left-hand side, you'll find a yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 10 feet 9.94 inches, length of the vehicle, 43 feet 11.5 inches, gross vehicle weight rating, 78,000 pounds. Just to the right, you'll find your traffic advisor. We do have a low and high switch and off, and also a function switch with a direction indicator. Let's move just to the right of the operator's overhead. We'll find the emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, and opticom. To the right, which is illuminated, is the perimeter lights. Let's move further to the right to an additional set of switches. Let's start at the very top with the siren brake, electronic siren, mechanical siren, load manager, which is illuminated, and also stabilizer indicator lights. All the way to the far right, you'll find the mirror heat. Moving further to the right of the operator's position, you'll find your siren control and PA speaker system. Directly in the center, you'll find your seatbelt information, red indicating in the seat and not belted, green indicating in the seat and belted. You'll also find this light illuminating, do not move your apparatus when the light is on, indicating you have a compartment door open or ajar. Directly behind the operator seat, you'll find your battery charger. You'll also find to the right a speaker with volume control on it. This is for your backup camera. And then also you'll find the lever for your manual cab tilt. Let's move exterior now, where you'll find an exterior door. At the very top section, you'll find adjustable shelves, LED lighting, dry deck material, and also a 12-volt access panel at the very top section for additional components. As we move to the rear section of the cab, let's start with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning information. Also, door lock and latch, and electric windows, and a grab handle. As we move inside, this is directly over the rear position. You'll find additional compartment storage and also 12-volt access battery direct. As we move into the bottom section, the lower compartments, you'll find adjustable shelving, LED lighting, and dry deck material. Moving toward the center, at the rear section of the engine, you'll find this lift and turn. This will gain access to the rear section of the engine for all of your daily checks for oil and transmission. As we move upward, you'll find an additional pull-out tray. There is also center dividers within this space. Let's take a quick look to the rear of the apparatus. You'll find 3 seats located across the rear wall. They all 3 contain the ability for SCBAs. As we're exterior, you'll find the auto air eject. Moving up, you'll find the shoreline inlet. This is a 20 amp. Moving further up, you'll find your auto charge. When plugged into shore power, the auto charge will illuminate, indicating battery status. As we move downward, you'll find a D handle will gain you access into this pan door. And now let's start at the pump panel area at the very top section where your crosslays are located. There are 2 crosslays located on your apparatus. First, crosslay number 1 and crosslay number 2. As we move downward, let's talk a little bit about some warning labels. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and only after they receive proper training. You'll also find the minimum operation maintenance schedule placard. We'll go over that in more detail. And to the right, a warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also, a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. To the right, you'll find the crosslays. This is crosslay 1 and crosslay 2 discharge valves. Moving to the right, you'll find your throttle pressure governor. Moving further to the right in the gray module is where you're going to find your master intake gauge. And then to the right, you'll find the master discharge gauge. In between the 2 of those, in the same gray area, are your test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. They're currently plugged, and these are for testing purposes. Let's move further down on the pump panel where you'll find this audible alarm. The outer edge of that bezel does rotate, allowing you to dampen or brighten the sound. Also, you'll find a green indicator, OK to pump. That's if you've conducted everything in the cab properly. As we move down, you'll find the large diameter passenger side discharge. It's a wheel valve. And as we move to the right in the blue module, this is your water tank level indicator. Moving all the way to the right in orange, this is the number 2 passenger side discharge. This is a 2.5 inch. Let's move further down on the pump panel where you'll find this placard from Watrous indicating the type of capacity you have, 2000 GPM. To the right, a digital readout for your waterway flow. And then also your aerial discharge, once again a wheel valve. Moving further to the right, this is going to be your driver main inlet. It is an electric valve. As we move down to the Pierce logo American flag eagle, this is your large diameter inlet. Let's move further to the right where you'll find the number 1 driver's side discharge. That's a 2.5 inch, and also the number 3 driver's side discharge. This is a 2.5 also. As we move up to the very top section, you'll find your tank to pump. Just down from that location is the tank fill and recirculating line. All the way down to the engine cooler, this is a twist, not a pull. And then moving to the right, you have an electric prime. There are instructions regarding a caution regarding the use of your electric prime. As we move down, this is the number 1 and number 3 driver's side discharges. These are both 2.5 inch discharges. You can see they're color coded and match the discharge valve. As we move all the way down to the lower section, you'll find your air supply, also the air outlet, and then also the number 2 crosslay and driver's side auxiliary inlet drains. Moving just to the right, you'll find the driver's side auxiliary inlet. This is a 2.5 inch ball valve with a female inlet. At the very bottom section, you'll find a danger placard. This is in regard to electrocution because your vehicle is non-insulated. Let's move further to the right where you'll find the number 1 driver's side discharge and also number 3 driver's side discharge. Those are the drains at the bottom section. Also, you'll find at the very top section your pump drain, and down at the very bottom section your manual pump shift. As we move to the vertical side sheet, you'll find panel lights and a speaker on and off switch. And then at the very bottom, you'll find your minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll go over that next. First, let's start with the placard itself. It's for 150, 200, and 250 PSI. Those are the test pressures. On the left-hand side is the associated GPM at test pressure, which coincides with the RPM on the right-hand side at test pressure. At the very top section, you'll find the 35015. That's your 5-digit job number. This is the Watrous plaque indicating the type and model of pump you have, which is a 2000 GPM pump. Also on the vertical side sheet is your intercom system. This is for the person in the bucket, volume control, and also push to talk along with the speaker.
Let's go ahead and move just to the right where the access ladder is, and you'll find the garden hose tank fill and also garden hose tank fill drain. Just to the right, once again, is the vertical access up to the ladder area. There is a warning label here regarding fall hazard. Always face the vehicle while climbing on it. You'll also find the next compartment. This is going to be all of our overrides located here. Also, we have some diagnostic switches at the very upper portion. The gray knobs match the gray diagram on the left-hand side, as are the green and blue knobs on the right-hand side match the diagram on the left-hand side of the panel. There is also the diverter switch located within inside this area. Here's a close-up. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the panel door. We also have some warning and danger information in this area also. As we move to the outrigger, this is going to be crush hazard warning because of that outrigger's movement for the stabilizer, and then also crush hazard regarding the rotation of any swinging parts. Let's move to the next compartment down where you'll find your breaker panel. This is going to be labeled G1, which stands for Generator 1. As we move down, you'll find a pull-out tray, release mechanism on the right, and then also the blue cap, which is the def level fill location. And at the bottom section, you'll find your folding wheel chocks. Once again, G1 stands for generated power. This is the breaker box. The shelf now in the full outright position. You can see the lock on the right-hand side. Let's take a look at the fill location where you'll fill the DEF tank. This is going to be a 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. We do have some caution information also. Make sure your engine is turned off before filling the tank. Also, just to the right, you'll find Scba bottle storage for a single bottle. As we move upward into the compartment area, your vehicle has two tool boards located in this area. There are release mechanism and locking mechanisms on the hinge side. Scba bottle for 4 locations here, and then also your silver cap, which is going to be your ultra low sulfur diesel. Once again, silver cap. Close up here of your Scba bottle storage. This does have retaining straps for safety. As we move to the rear section, Scba bottle, and then also ultra low sulfur diesel. The next image is with the tool boards deployed. You can see the release mechanism on the very back section of the hinge. As we move to the next compartment, you'll find 3 pull-out. The very top one is a pull-out and tilt down. The next one's a pull-out tray. And at the very bottom section, you have a pull-out tray. Once again, release mechanism on the right, but the upper has 2 releases, right and left side. Also in this compartment, you'll also find shoreline generator outlet. Let's take a look at the compartment with the shelves deployed. Once again, top is a pull-out, it drops down, and then also the 2 lower ones pull out and lock into position. Another warning information regarding crush hazard. This is your stabilizer, and because of that movement, that's why we have the warning placard here. As we move around to the rear ladder gaining access into the bucket area, we have once again a warning regarding fall hazard. When climbing on the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Let's take a look at the rear section of the apparatus. We'll start in the upper left-hand corner. Important placard here regarding danger electrocution hazard. Equipment is not insulated. Just to the right, you'll find the backup camera. And then we'll identify a few of the compartments within this area. First, this is going to be your main compartment for deploying your aerial device. We have an emergency stop, a protected override switch, and then also the stabilizer enabled switch. At the very bottom section, you'll find the removable tethered control device for deploying your stabilizers. You'll also find a warning label here also regarding aerial stability hazard. Just inside that compartment also is an inclinometer from front to back. At the rear section, you'll find emergency light, brake light, turn, and reverse. You'll also find the rear scene lights, and then also in a tethered attachment point here, tow hook. And at the very bottom section, you'll find an inclinometer. Green is from 0 to 5, yellow from 5 to 10, and from 10 to 15 would be in the red zone. Let's move into the compartment where you'll find your ladder storage location and also long-handled tool storage. At the very bottom section, this is your hydraulic generator. As we move upward, we do have an entanglement hazard warning because of the line coming from the right aloft area. There is a possibility of entanglement. We also have this regarding anchor points, direct pull for best use. As we move around to the passenger side of the vehicle, ladder deployed, there is a warning label there regarding facing the vehicle while climbing on it. As we move around now, we'll find adjustable shelves, once again LED lighting, those two pull-out trays, also generator shoreline outlets. And then as we move to the very bottom section, you can see the tray is fully deployed, release mechanism on the right once it's locked into position. The next one up is a pull-out and it tilts downward, it does have dry deck material in all of these. Once again, tool board located here, and also Scba bottle storage for 4 Scba bottle storage. As we move to the tool board itself, this is a single tool board. Release mechanism is the D handle. Once you gain access, it will lock into position. Once again, danger, electrocution hazard, the vehicle is not insulated. As we move to the next compartment forward, I would like to point out the diesel exhaust tailpipe on this side. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures. Be cautious where you park your vehicle, especially during regen operations. Let's move forward to this location to the stabilizer, where you'll find a crush warning because of the stabilizer movement. Also, you'll find your hydraulic sight gauge located inside. As we move forward, there are a few drains located down at the bottom where the stabilizer is. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. We have the tank to pump, and then also tank fill and aerial drain, which is an 1.5 inch ball valve at the very bottom section. Let's go ahead and start with the passenger side pump panel. At the very top section, we'll go through a few warning labels first. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner. Once again, you should never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion, and also face the vehicle while you're climbing on it. As we move to the right, you're going to find pressure hazard warning because of those caps that are capped may be under pressure. Be cautious when removing them. Also to the right, because of those lines coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. As we move down, we'll find a 2.5 inch discharge located on this side. Moving just to the right, you'll find your passenger side pump inlet. And as we move further down, the red or pinkish color is going to be the aerial inlet. To the right, you'll find your large diameter discharge. It's the green color. And then also a pan door, and then all of our drains located at the very bottom section. Let's go ahead and move down to the cab section. The very back section of the cab wall, you'll find a D handle gains access into this space. As we look inside the cab, you'll find grab handles at the points of entry where the hinges are located for getting access in and out of the cab. You'll also start with a door panel, safety and warning information. We do have the door lock and latch, and also electric windows. As we move to the front section, you can see the 2 tall compartments. 2 D handles gain you access into those. An additional compartment in the upper portion. As we look into the compartment, LED lighting inside, and also dry deck material and adjustable shelving. This compartment is accessible from the exterior. Let's go ahead and move into the officer area now. Let's start once again with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, you'll find all of our safety and warning information. Door lock and latch located on the left, grab handle, and electric windows. Your vehicle once again is equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag. This is a warning regarding the use of mounting any equipment within that area. To the left, you'll find air horn control and siren brake, and also 12-volt access via USB. Also, as we move further in toward the center, you'll find USB access 12-volt, also shoreline generated outlets here, 20 amp, and at the very front, your vehicle data recorder. Let's go ahead and look overhead from the officer perspective, first starting with the push on and off white or red lens lights. As we move toward the center area, you'll find your AM/FM, Sirius, weather band, CD player radio. Also, just a couple of general views here. This is the passenger side, all compartments in the open. Let's take a look at the driver's side next. And then let's go ahead and go right up and take a look at the aerial device. We'll start with the area just to the rear of the cab, which is going to be your control area. As we move up to the very top section, I would like to point out some warning regarding crush injury. There are some moving objects here, so be cautious when it's in operation. As we move to the forward position, you'll find your waterway flow, digital readout, and then to the right, you'll find your intercom system, there is volume control and also push to talk. As we move down onto the center console area, you'll find the emergency stop. It's the push button red. And then also you'll find a protected switch which gives aerial control to the people at the tip. Moving further up, you'll find light control, and then also at the very bottom section here, a section for your nozzle control. As we move down, you'll find the Pierce Command Zone screen. And then down at the very bottom section, we'll find ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. As we move to the cover section here on the right-hand side of the image, let's take a look at some of those items. This is your 1911 Ascendant information regarding the load chart. It's for waterway dry and also waterway charged. As we move down, you'll find monitor nozzle positions, and then you'll also find special information regarding asterisks, for example, icy conditions on the ladder. We do have some warning, also some danger placards located here. On the warning information, remember, only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after receiving proper training. Regarding danger electrocution hazard, because the vehicle is non-insulated. Also, tip-over hazard is also a factor. As we move to the cab itself, you'll find this is a non-walking surface, and that's why we have these fall hazard warning placards in this area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the aerial device itself. This is a 4-section aerial. General view here. We do have additional tool location storage on the inner fly. As we move to the base section, there is also storage location. In the storage location, I would like to point out there is a maximum capacity of 25 pounds in each box. Also, while the ladder is in use, make sure that everything is closed and secure before raising the aerial device. Let's move to the front bucket area. We'll start first with a few of the buckets at the very rear section. These are additional storage locations. And then also to the opposite side. Once again, we do have warning and safety information, so let's go over that first. Once again, aerial tower load chart. This is for 1911. This is for a 35-mile-an-hour wind condition. Also, you do have breathing air to the very tip section. This is a connection point. As we move inside, this is your intercom system. There is a volume control. It is passive. As we move down, you'll find 2 outlets located at the very bottom section. You'll also find your air connection. Also, warning information regarding the life system. We'll go over that in just a moment. At the very bottom section, this is your air connection. And then as we move further down, these are going to be the tether points for securing personnel inside the bucketed area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the warnings for the life system. First, life winch, also life eye, life ladder, and life support. All of these indications for warning. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, once again, and only after they've received proper training on all 4 of these devices. As we move to the rear section of the bucketed area, you'll have an additional storage location. Let's go ahead and take a look at the forward section. Emergency stop on the far left. It's the red mushroom push button. You'll also find aerial speed, either normal or fast. And then to the right, you'll find an enable, disable for your manual basket leveling. There is a switch for up or down. Just to the right, you have an additional Pierce Command Zone screen located in the front bucket area. Let's move further to the right where you'll find the ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. Also a digital readout regarding the water flow. And then also nozzle control. Let's go ahead and just take a look downward toward the base area where you'll find the nozzle. And then we'll take a general view here of the ladder from the bucket section going forward. And then we're going to jump down underneath the vehicle because your vehicle is equipped with automatic tire chains controlled from within inside the cab. General views here. Side of the vehicle, driver's side. Let's take a look at the passenger side. These are with all the compartment doors closed. Congratulations, Medford Fire Department, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 35015. If you have any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.